Hey everyone, this is an introduction for my video series on muscular hypertrophy. We'll be doing a series of 10 different videos for my internship at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, and the main topic is going to be muscular hypertrophy. So we'll look at different things for training techniques, methods of recovery, nutrition, that kind of thing. And there'll be a total of 10 videos, about 10 minutes in length for each one, looking at different studies as well to support the things that I'm doing in the gym. And each video will be a little bit different. Here we go. Alright, so this week we're looking at occlusion training, and we're looking at an article titled "The Effects of Blood Flow Restriction Training on Muscular Strength and Hypertrophy in Older Individuals, a Systematic Review and Meta-Analysis." We'll move down to the background section, and that reads, "The combination of low-load resistance training with blood flow restriction, or BFR, has recently been shown to promote muscular adaptations in various populations. To date, however, evidence is sparse on how this training regimen influences muscle mass and strength in older adults. The purpose of this systematic review and meta-analysis was to quantitatively identify the effects of low-load BFR training on muscle mass and strength in older individuals in comparison with conventional resistance training programs. Additionally, the effectiveness of walking with and without BFR was assessed." So, we'll move down just quick to their short results section, and they did a meta-analysis of they first looked at 2,658 articles that were screened, and 11 studies, population of N equals 238, so 238 people, were included in the meta-analysis. The results that they found were that during both low-load training and walking, the addition of blood flow restriction elicits significantly greater improvements in muscular strength with pooled effect sizes. And then it reads, "Muscle mass was also increased when comparing walking with and without BFR, blood flow restriction. In comparison with high-load training, low-level blood flow restriction, or low-load blood flow restriction promotes similar muscle hypertrophy but lower strength gains." And what do they conclude in this study? They say, "This systematic review and meta-analysis reveals that low-load BFR and walking with BFR is an effective interventional approach to stimulate muscle hypertrophy and strength gains in older populations. As BFR literature is still scarce with regard to potential moderator variables, examples being sex, cuff pressure, or training, volume, and frequency, further research is needed." And I think most studies will always say that further research is needed because further research is always needed. We'll go down a little bit, and we'll take a look at, not that, we want to look at their discussion. And it reads, "The main objective of the present systematic review and meta-analysis was to assess the effects of blood flow restriction on muscle mass." And it reads, "While our analyses demonstrate that high-load and low-load BFR training produced similar increases in muscle mass in older cohorts, adaptations in muscular strength were smaller following low-load BFR training compared with those typically seen after high-load training. However, the application of an external tourniquet seems to facilitate significantly greater responses in muscular strength compared with low-load training alone. Due to insufficient data availability, no conclusion can be drawn about the effects of the low-load blood flow restriction training on muscle mass compared with low-load training alone. Interestingly, even during intensities as low as walking, blood flow restriction enhances strength and muscle mass adaptations in older subjects compared with normal walking." Alright. Moving further, down to their longer conclusion, it reads, The present systematic review and meta-analysis provides novel insights into the effect of low-load BFR training compared with training modalities that are currently used for counteracting the age-related decline in muscle mass and function. Our results indicate that the application of BFR to low-load training on walking exercise positively influences muscular adaptations compared with each exercise under normal blood flow conditions. In comparison with high-load training, low-load BFR elicits lower strength increases. So what does this mean for us? It means that this meta-analysis shows that the same level of or low-load training, when done with blood flow restriction or occlusion bands, are shown to increase muscle mass more so than the same load without the occlusion bands. It also shows that in this meta-analysis for older adults, that strength can increase even when just walking, and we're not too concerned about that. But the main idea that we're interested in is the increase in muscle mass with blood flow occlusion training, and this meta-analysis is supportive overall of that idea. Now, I will move on to a little bit of a demonstration with occlusion bands and some resistance bands using, we'll look at the bicep curl and then a tricep extension, just two examples of movements that could be done with occlusion bands. You can also do leg movements or other movements as well. And then I'll do a short, just little conclusion, and I'll wrap it up after that. Alright everyone, so now I'm going to show you how to do a couple very simple movements on an occlusion band. Here I'm just showing you how to kind of set it up, get it up the arm. You want it over the head of the tricep. You want to pull it up like that, tighten it down pretty tight. You can see that it's above my bicep right there. Now I'll grab a resistance band here. I'm stepping over the bottom and I'm giving a curl. You want to try to stretch at the bottom, and you want to try to keep your elbow a little bit closer than I am to the midline of my body. I do kind of correct it here, as I could see I was getting a little forward. But yeah, you'll keep the occlusion band there. You do the reps, try to go a little bit slower maybe on the eccentric than I am. And now we're going to be transitioning, and it takes me a little bit to get in a good position for the camera here. As I can see, I'm a little too high. So I'll step away a little bit, get back in position, and I'll just show you some reps here with tricep extension, again with the occlusion band. You can do this with dumbbells. All I had for this video was some resistance bands, so that's what I'm showing you. But you can do it with dumbbells. You could even try it with a barbell. You can do 2 arms at the same time. I'm just doing one for the purposes of the video. But yeah, some simple examples. There you go. So I hope you've enjoyed the video on occlusion training or blood flow restriction training so far. I know I didn't have a lot to show you in terms of examples, and I apologize for that, but I'm just a little bit restricted on gym equipment this week. Occlusion training is great for lower loads, lighter weights in the gym, so you don't have to be doing like a max bench press with occlusion bands on. You'd want to try and do movements like bicep curl, tricep extension, kind of like I showed you. Maybe single joint movements like that will work great for this. Some other ones, if you have bands that are big enough, you could do them around the quadriceps and get some added hypertrophy benefits from that style around the legs. But movements that it doesn't really work for would be movements, core movements. So meaning abdominal movements, you can't really do occlusion training for those. You kind of have to stick to the extremities. So doing ones like I showed you, like bicep, tricep, they're not really great for lat or back training. Pretty tough to do shoulder training with occlusion bands. So it's going to work the best for your bicep, the tricep, and then quad and hamstring as well. So keep that in mind. You can get them anywhere really. You can make your own as well, but think about using it for lighter weights, less fatigue, but still the hypertrophy benefits of the training, as we talked about in the study. Add them in a couple times a week just to see how it goes for you, see how it feels. And yeah, just give it a shot. And next week we'll have another video for you on a different topic, but still focusing on muscle growth. I'll go over some more articles. Hopefully I'll have some better example footage for you. And I'll see you then, guys.